did you know there's a place where they actually don't see the sun for 6 months in a row? That's where I went 2 years ago with my Norwegian wife, or half Norwegian, half American. We went to Norway, Tromsø in the Arctic Circle. That's very far north of Norway. We went to Tromsø during the winter season. So that was the perfect time to catch the northern lights. That was the main goal. That's why we went. These past few days, we've had some beautiful days in the UK, so I thought, why not shoot outside? It honestly looked like a fairy tale town, with the boat cutting through the fjord and the mountains towering over everything. For this shot, I had to meter carefully for the ambient city lights without blowing out the highlights. I shot with my Olympus. This is the Olympus OM-20. I've had this for around 5 years now, and I love this camera. It's my favorite camera that I have. This one's from the 80s, from 1984. I shot with this Olympus lens, 50mm, a 1.8. So as we walked around, I saw these beautiful little houses all covered in snow, and I tried to take a picture of them, but my hands were freezing this day. My fingers were numb. So I tried to take a picture, but it was out of focus. In the city, we were about -5 degrees, so it was manageable to take pictures, but fun fact, I didn't take any gloves. I decided to just go without gloves because I thought I'm going to be taking pictures all the time, so if I have gloves, I'm going to have to take them off every 5 minutes, and I didn't want that. Lucky for me, the friends that we were staying with, they let me have some other gloves, and I didn't lose my hands. Hello. Nearby the place where we were staying, there was this frozen lake covered in snow, and we went there one of the mornings, and we just walked around, and it was gorgeous, it was beautiful. There was all this mist above it. Since it's winter, the sun would only come out above the horizon for maybe 2 hours before it went back down. So at this time, I'm pretty sure I took this picture during noon, but it looks like a deep, perpetual golden hour sunset. I asked my wife to pose in front of the frozen lake, but she has somewhat of an ability to close her eyes at the exact moment when I take a picture. And I always tell her, I'm shooting on film, please don't close your eyes. And then she does. It's honestly a talent. She just reads my mind, knows exactly when I'm going to press the shutter, and then she closes her eye. So right after taking this picture, we decided to just walk across the lake. And it was pretty stupid looking back on it now. We probably shouldn't have done that. It was a bit dangerous. But hey, we didn't have any kids. We were younger, right? But it was fun. And, we felt the adrenaline. I think it was on that same day after we went to the lake. We just kept walking, just having a stroll around the area. And we found this graveyard covered in snow. It felt incredibly peaceful, but trying to get into position to take photos was a workout. As you can see, I was trying to get a picture of this religious statue. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I think I was balancing on one leg, trying not to sink. And so the shot came out of focus, but honestly, I kind of like the picture. It's the imperfection, right? It's the story that it tells. I think that's the value of pictures. A picture can be gorgeous, but it becomes more valuable when you learn the story behind it. And to me, when I see this picture, I remember, being in this freezing temperatures with my wife, really cold, having a fun moment together, me trying to take a picture. So it brings back all these memories. So yeah, I actually like the picture, even though it's out of focus. So around mid-afternoon, when the sun goes down, the city transforms into this sci-fi world because you have these huge machines moving snow. I just like the contrast of how the light hits the camera. There's something about film cameras that reacts to light differently. It's probably because it's a light impression, right? There's no sensor trying to interpret the image. It's just pure light hitting paper. But yeah, also that's something that I liked about Norway is that people don't really stop their lives because of the snow or because of the cold weather. They just get on with their lives, They're not letting something external change what they're going to do. I think there's a saying that I might butcher it, but it's something like, there's no such thing as wrong weather, only wrong clothing. While walking around town, I spotted this industrial garage. I don't really know what it is, but I like the colors and the lighting, and I tried to create like a liminal space, like a back room kind of thing. It didn't turn out exactly how I pictured it in my head. The lighting was a bit tough to meter. We went to one of these secondhand stores, and I found these dolls, like these creepy looking dolls. And I don't know what the vibe is here, but I shot it anyway. I thought it was interesting. At one point we were outside and it started snowing, and I thought I would try it again and see if my wife didn't close her eyes, and voila, she didn't. She's smiling, the snow is falling, it looks magical. One of my favorite parts of that trip was the cruise that we went on. We went on a whale watching cruise. We had an awesome time. I don't know exactly what the temperatures were, but it was really windy. Obviously the boat had like an indoor area where you could warm up. But if you went outside to actually see the whales, it was really windy, it was cold, you were freezing. I had like 4 or 5 layers on me of clothing, but even then I was still freezing. The views from the water are insane. Like the mountains rising straight out of the dark water is just mind-blowing. They look so massive. And the crisp air made the visibility perfect for shooting pictures. As you can imagine, it was so cold and windy that you couldn't stand outside for too long. That, plus the unpredictability of whales, it makes capturing one on film like just pure luck. You can see the whales perfectly in the digital B-roll I shot. I must have taken 4 or 5 shots at whales, and yeah, I only got one. But I'm happy with it, I'm proud of it. Again, it reminds me of the story behind it, all the effort that I put into it. You don't see much of the whale in the picture, but you know, I'm glad I got one at least. Before we headed back to the shore, I took this nice picture of my tour guide. When we were turning around, I saw this yellow cargo industrial ship, and it looked really cool. I wish I had had a longer lens, like a, I don't know, 100 millimeters or something like that. I wasn't even going to try to shoot the northern lights on film. I haven't really had much of a go at nighttime photography, although I would love to do it someday. I also didn't have a tripod with me, so yeah. I remember when we got to this place, we went up this mountain, up the mountain that you saw before in the first picture, and I remember as we got off the bus, literally my nose hairs started freezing. I could feel my eyebrows freezing. It was so crazy cold. I think we were at minus 22 degrees, and that is probably the coldest I've ever been in my life, but it was so worth it. It's nice to look at these pictures again, because I remember when I got the negatives a couple of weeks after the trip, I wasn't very impressed with the pictures. I was like, oh yeah, they turned out nice, you know, they're okay. And then I didn't really do anything with them. I don't think I posted them, I just kept them. But looking at them now, I love this picture. And I think that's the power of photography. It's not so much about the picture itself, although yes, if you're able to take a picture, you know, at golden hour, or an animal, a beautiful landscape from the top of a mountain, you know, there's a lot to admire in those kinds of pictures. But your picture doesn't have to be groundbreaking for you to like it, and for you to feel connected to it. The emotional power of a picture comes from the story and the memory. And that's why I like these pictures now. And I think back then, you know, it wasn't that long ago since it had happened when I got the negatives. At this point, my wife and I, we were engaged. So, you know, we've been through a lot. We've gotten married, we have a daughter now. It brings back a lot of memories, and that's the value of a picture. So, yeah, if you take a picture of your family today, it's a nice picture and you're going to be happy with it probably, because you love your family. But imagine how you're going to feel about this same picture in 2 years, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. Suddenly, that picture that was just a normal picture back then gains so much emotional weight. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the pictures. I hope you liked some of the shots. Tell me which one was your favorite. Yeah, next video I'll be making will be a challenge. I'm going to challenge myself. I have an old Nikon from 2003 that I'm going to take on a little field trip I'm going to do with my wife. I'm going to take some pictures and see how it turns out. So if you want to see that video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. So, what are you watching, bro?
Am I distracting you?
Yes, you are.